With every Animal Crossing game, there are some things that disappear from the last game. I don't know why this happens. Maybe there's a lack of room in the game, maybe better ideas came along and took its place, or maybe it was just a bad idea in the first place. Today I'm going to list some things that if they never made it to New Horizons from New Leaf, I probably wouldn't notice. Which, by the way, it's pretty hard to think of things you wouldn't miss because, you wouldn't miss them. So this list has been pretty hard to think up. Although after all these hours of thinking and writing and recording and editing around this topic, I'm probably going to notice these things in the game. But that aside, before I made this video, I wouldn't have noticed if they were missing. Anyway, let's get into it. Number 1, Katrina. I've personally never been a fan of Katrina. And even now, I really don't get the point of her. I remember visiting her in New Leaf. I think you had to visit like 20 times in order for her to move into the plaza, and she was like my last person to move in. But I definitely only visited her for completion reasons. I think since she moved in, I only went 1 or 2 times. Like I had really bad luck one day, and I think that's the only reason I came in. So yeah, I don't see any point in her. If you've ever had the Lovely phone, it does the exact same thing, free of charge. So if she doesn't make a comeback, I wouldn't notice it, unlike the absence of Katie's mom in New Leaf. Number 2, bad luck, or luck in general. Along the same lines as Katrina going away, I wouldn't notice it if bad luck went bye-bye too. You know, that thing that makes you trip all the time, and then you have to see Katrina, even though you normally won't ever see her, just to find an outfit that might reverse it. I mean, luck was a fun idea, but it sucks when you're tripping all the time, and if it just went away, I wouldn't notice. Number 3, April Fool's Day. Now here's a time when they brought back an old character. In this case, Blanca. And let's just say I hate what they did with her in this version. April Fool's Day is pretty similar to Toy Day in the sense that for like a month in advance, you have to be talking to your villagers and taking notes on what they say. So in the case of Toy Day, you remember what toy they want. But in the case of April Fool's, it's so you remember like random facts about them, like their birthday, what sibling they are, things they like to do. In the case of Toy Day, the whole preparation thing is fun and I'm fine with it, but for a holiday like April Fool's, it's really weird to prepare a couple weeks in advance. It's a fun day, but like not something you prepare for like Christmas. Also, one thing that really annoys me is in the end, you're not going to memorize everything your villager mentioned throughout the couple weeks. So you end up going online and you end up looking up all the answers. And your reward for guessing which of the doubles is Blanca is a picture of that villager, which it just kind of seems like you're cheating. Because the picture is like a big, momentous occasion when you earn your villager's picture. Like you feel like you're close at that point. And to have a day where your reward for participating and doing it well is that picture, it kind of feels like you cheated your way through and it's less rewarding than if you had earned it the normal way. So if April Fool's does not make a return, I will definitely not be missing it. Number 4, museum store. The second floor of the museum was basically extra storage, and then they threw a store in there, which I barely noticed. They had some cool stands and things you could buy, and that's where you got your silver tools, which really didn't matter in the end, and some wallpaper. But when it came to it, like most museum stuff, if you needed it, you would have to buy in bulk. So you'd buy one there and then buy the rest off of your catalog. In the end, making the museum store after a short period of time basically useless. Which is sad because I really like Celeste. So I'm hoping in New Horizons, Celeste gets such an awesome new job that the absence of the museum store isn't mourned at all. Number 5, gift wrapped. This was one of those things that when it was added to New Leaf, I thought it was so cool. Like wrapping gifts. Oh, it was so awesome. I just imagine giving my friends gifts all the time, all wrapped up. But in the end, I used it like 4 times. It was fun for her fancy surprise gift, but most of the time, we would just be dumping items that the other person requested. So if gift wrap didn't return to Nook's shelves in New Horizons, I wouldn't mind at all. Number 6, Gem Rocks. Just like gift wrap, gem rocks were so new and cool, but as I played past a couple weeks, they became extra pocket change that I never went out of my way to find. It was cool that you could refinish furniture with them, and the gold set was pretty awesome, but only having one a day and there being 5 different gems to collect, then having to store them if you were trying to build up a set, it just took a lot of days to get anywhere. Like if you were trying to redo a set in all sapphire, it might take you up to 50 days to get all the sapphires you need to do it. And in the end, that was just way too much. 50 days to get anywhere, so I ended up completely ignoring them. If they end up scratching the idea of collecting 1 gemstone a day, I definitely won't be mad. Number 7, striped set. Guys, I was scrolling through furniture sets the other day to see how many new ones were in New Leaf, and I was shocked when I saw the striped set. I had completely forgotten about it. Compared to Rococo, Sleek, and the Alpine sets, etc., it left so little of an impression. So if it wasn't in New Horizons, I would probably be none the wiser. Number 8, Jellyfish Enemies. I remember the first time I saw these, I tried to catch them right away, only to go bonk and be stunned for like 15, I guess it's only like 5 seconds. But yeah, unlike out of all the other creatures in this game, this is the only one that can hurt you, but also not be caught. It ended up being really annoying when it got in your way trying to catch stuff. Like when you saw that little shadow in the distance and you were gonna go for it, and then a jellyfish disappeared, and then the shadow disappeared while you were stunned. It was so annoying. Diving already is pretty difficult, like diving at the right time, hitting that button fast enough, like getting it before it swims outside the barrier. Like there's already enough challenge there, so I don't know why they added the jellyfish. They are so not necessary. If it ends up going back to being a catchable fish, it would be a long time before I notice that switch. And I would very much appreciate it if they did switch them back to being catchable instead of being an annoying obstacle. Villager games. Sometimes villagers will ask you to play a game of hide and seek. If going forward they didn't do that anymore, I wouldn't care. It was a fun game, but it tended to interrupt what you were in the middle of, and the reward would always be like random items or wallpapers that really weren't that great. Also, the mad scramble to find them would often lead to many an innocent flower being hurt. So, I would much rather the games of hide and seek be reserved to the island, because they really didn't add much to gameplay. Number 10, villagers asking to come over. Let's be real, we've all forgotten that a villager was coming over later, and we've all felt super bad when they called us on it. But if we did remember and we did have them over, it was super awkward. Like you stand around waiting for them to leave. Maybe you talk to them a couple times and then they start repeating the same dialogue and you're just like, okay, I'm glad we earned these friendship points together, but please leave. And you just sit there and you can't move furniture, you can't really do anything else. And yeah, if a villager never has to come over again, I would not be too heartbroken at all. All right, there's my 10. I would love to hear what things you wouldn't notice if they were gone, or even leave a comment with what mildly annoying things you want gone in this next game. Oh, and funny little side note, I had red turnip on this list, and I went ahead and looked it up to remember like what exactly it did in the game, and I found out that they totally axed it in New Leaf. There were no red turnips, so I took that off the list. And it holds true that if red turnip disappeared, I wouldn't notice, as with most things on this list. Alright, and just one little reminder, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you can't get enough of Animal Crossing content just like me. I will be posting probably a video every week, if not two. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Just 16 more days. I'm so excited. Hopefully none of these things are in the game.